Hey everyone, my name is Wes. This is Interactive English, which is all about helping you guys practice and improve your English skills. And today we're going to do another practice lesson. This is going to be a bit of a quiz on American slang. That's right, I have a bunch of different questions for you to test your comprehension of American slang. Now, slang is interesting because I'd say that as somebody who's a teacher, I would tell you that it's not absolutely necessary that you learn slang, American slang or British slang, but at the same time, I understand that many of you want to learn slang because you hear it quite often when you're talking or when you're listening to maybe a podcast or a TV show or you're watching a movie. So I understand why it is something you want to learn. It can be important for your comprehension. So we're going to go over these words and phrases today that I think are, you don't have to go out and try to use them because they can be very specific, but it is good to have for your comprehension. And like I said, today it's all about practicing your skills, and this is a great way to do so because you can practice in real time. So if you are in the chat, I'm going to ask you questions. I want you to write your answer in the chat. And even if you're watching this later, I want you to write your answer in the comments and use it like it's a piece of paper and you are writing down your answers, all right? So as we go through the quiz, I will give some shout outs to those of you that are with me right now. But whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, wait. You were not meant to see that just yet. I wanted to start out just with this simple, just talking about what is slang in case that this is something you are not familiar with. So I will read that in case you're having trouble seeing it. I was trying to find a font color that just popped out, but it was a little difficult. So slang, it's words and phrases that are very informal, very casual. They're much more common in spoken English instead of writing, so you will hear them more often than you're going to read these words or phrases. And they are typically restricted or limited to a particular group. A particular group of people. And this could be a particular group of people in a certain region because slang on the East Coast of the United States is different from slang on the West Coast of the United States. Or it could depend on the age group as well. So younger people might use certain words or phrases that older people like me don't use, or we may even be unaware of these words. And this is why I find it interesting because when it comes to slang, we've done some lessons before on slang, and I will leave a link in the comments if you want to check out some of those lessons because all of the questions that I have for you are based on those lessons. And sometimes when I did those lessons, I would receive comments and people, especially Americans, they would be like, I don't use that word. Nobody uses it. And that's the thing about slang. Just because one person doesn't use the word, that does not mean that people don't use it. Slang is very limited to, again, a certain region, a certain age group, a particular group of people. So that is important to keep that in mind, especially when you're talking about, oh, I want to go out and use it, because some people, the people you're talking to, they may not be familiar with this slang. So keep that in mind. And now let's begin. The first question that I have for you. Now, this is a bit more common, all right? And I've given you this to try and put it in context. And I'd say, dude, what are you doing? That's my food. So I put it in quotes because, again, we're referring to spoken English. It's more common when it's spoken. So that's the way I kind of want you to think about this. Even though you're able to read it, think about it as though somebody's saying it. And if somebody's saying, dude, what are you doing? That's my food. What does dude refer to? Does it refer to a man? Does it refer to a woman? Or does it refer to either a man or a woman? So dude, it's talking about a person. I think many of you know that. You probably have heard this word and you are familiar with it. But what do you think? Does it refer to a man, a woman, or either a man or a woman? And this could be a bit tricky. All right, excellent. Yes, Busicorn, Ramesa, Chris, Albert, thank you for your answer. The answer is C, either a man or a woman. Now, I will say this. it generally refers to a man. Most of the time that when somebody says dude, they're talking about like maybe a group of guys or a guy or a man. However, it can be used as a gender neutral noun, all right? It can be, a girl could say this to another girl and say, dude. It does not only have to be for a man. The reason I put this in here is because many of you have asked me this question from one of our other lessons, and you say, well, dude, can it be used to talk about either a man or a woman? Yes, it can be used in that context, but generally speaking, most of the time it's used when talking about a guy. For example, in that sentence, if somebody says like, oh, it's a dude, then they're talking about it's a guy, it's a man. In that context, if somebody says, oh, it's a dude, they would be referring to, okay, it's a man. But when you're talking to somebody else and kind of instead of saying like, hey, you want to talk to that person and say, hey, dude, what are you doing? It could be a man or a woman. It just depends, all right? So just that's a quick clarification on the word dude. Most of the time it's talking about a man, but it could be used to talk to a woman, a female. And again, this is a word that typically younger people are going to use. Like people like my grandparents, they're not using the word dude, okay? I don't really use this word that often. I used it a lot more when I was younger, all right? Now I feel like I'm getting old because I don't use dude anymore. All right, the next one. It's a fill in the blank, all right? I would just tell you guys, you all are great. I really want to give you for being here today. I really want to give you for being here today. What do you think? Which word best completes that phrase? And I've highlighted the slang phrase in red. So that is the whole part of the slang. Give you What do you think? Which word best completes that? Is that A, cred, B, props, or C, shoutouts? All right. What do you guys think? All right. You all are great. I really want to give you for being here today. Which one do you think best completes it? And I'm seeing a lot of different answers. Wow. Okay, wait a second. I thought you guys watched our other slang videos. You should have learned this already. All right, so many of you are saying C, all right? If, you could give a shout out, but in this case, this context, when you're talking about the phrase together, yes, I want to give some shout outs to, yes, Miss Reluctant, perfect, Claudia, excellent, Esther, miracle happens. The correct answer is B. You give someone props. All right. Now, when you give props, like, hey, I want to give you props, you are giving someone proper recognition or respect or for doing something. Like in that sentence, I want to give you mad props. Sometimes it's used with that word as well, mad. But to give someone props is, you're giving them respect, you're giving them some recognition. I do think that this is a little more common. You might even hear it used in the workplace as well. Like, yeah, I want to give you props for the work that you did on that project. You want to give somebody respect. Now, many of you said a shout out because a shout out is also recognition. But oftentimes, you could say, I guess you want to give a shout out. But when I think of this context, like I want to give a shout out, it means like, I am announcing something. Somebody is saying something to a wide audience. Because right now, there are many of you watching this, so I might give a shout out to you individually. But if you're just talking to one other person and you say like, or even a small group, you'd say, I want to give you props. I want to give you props for doing this thing. You want to give them respect. So that is the entire slang phrase, to give someone props. All right, this next one. Okay, what do you guys think? All right, this means to expose your butt to others on purpose. And this is very childish. It's something that I think maybe it's an older term, but to expose your butt on purpose, usually doing it as a joke. And I put that picture. Do you see those zebras in there? Those pesky zebras. They're showing us their butts. All right. If somebody's showing you your butt on purpose, does that mean A, to show, B, to flash, or C, to moon? What do you think? What do you think is the correct answer? A, B, or C? Show, flash, or moon? All right. Again, this was in one of the previous lessons, so if you saw that, then you should remember it. Yes, excellent, Paul. Perfect. Who else? Simo, Sissy, Artie, Mete. It's moving really fast now, but yes, the answer is C, moon. So to moon someone, you're using it as a verb. It means that, to expose your butt to somebody on purpose. This is when you are joking around, and like I said, it's childish. I think of like teenagers, they would do this and they would moon somebody, or like if and again, I think maybe this is some kind of childish joke that is just in the United States. I can't say whether other countries that this is happening, but I could ask, have you ever mooned? Have you ever mooned someone, or have you ever mooned a group of people? I will admit, yes, when I was a child, I mooned. I think it was probably like a car. The cars are going down the road, and I would show my butt or something, and that would be like to moon someone. All right, yes, it is a childish prank, but now you know. Again, this is probably not as common, but again, that's why it's slang. So here's the next one, all right? Put it in context. Again, I put those, wait a second, so you can see my quotes. My quotes up there, so you know that I'm talking about spoken English. And somebody would say, hey, are you down to go with me to the courthouse? Are you down? Are you down to go with me to the courthouse? Again, I highlighted the slang in red, which is down. So what does that mean? If somebody says, hey, are you down to go with me to the courthouse? A, are you okay to do something? B, are you happy to do something? C, are you unwilling to do something? Which of those would be the meaning if somebody were to ask you, are you down? Okay, what do you guys think? A, B, or C? Write your answer in the chat, or write your answer in the comments if you're watching this later. Love it when people participate. And yes, got some good answers. Perfect. Moses, Paul, Heloisa, Rose, Albert. The answer is A. If somebody asks like, oh, are you down to do this? It means you are willing to do something. Now, I would say there's a difference between willing and happy, because when you're happy to do something, like you're kind of excited. And I tried to give you this context of a courthouse. Nobody really, it's not like, hey, are you down to go to the party? And then it's like, yeah, that's great, let's go. Not many people would want to go to a courthouse, but maybe you're doing your friend a favor and they might say, hey, are you down to do this? Are you okay to do this with me? Are you willing to do something? And I might ask you, I'd say, hey, do you want to hit that like button? Are you down? Are you down to hit that like button? Are you okay with doing that favor for me? Because if you do enjoy these lessons, if you like these quizzes that we do, hit that like button. Let me know, because then that tells me I should do more quiz lessons. I should do more practice lessons like these, so you can practice your vocabulary, your knowledge of slang, idioms, expressions, grammar, all of it. All right. We can do a bunch of different quizzes. So I could ask you again, do you want to hit that like button? Are you down? Are you okay, willing to do something? The next one is a fill in the blank. Again, so I would say, I'm so tired, I just want to, I'm so tired, I just want to, So I've given you that situation, that context. What would best complete that sentence? I'm so tired, I just want to, Is it A, crash, B, snore, or C, plop? All right? What do you guys think? Which, knowing that sentence, the situation, I'm so tired, I just want to, what would you say? Crash, snore, or plop? A, B, or C? Yes, excellent. Perfect. The Falcon, Simo, Shilpa, Sleepwalker. The answer is Stefano. Perfect. A, crash. So if somebody says that they just want to crash, it means that they want to go to sleep. And often it's kind of like sleeping suddenly because they are very exhausted. Maybe they have not slept in a long time and they say, oh, I just want to crash. Perhaps they've been working very hard and they're tired and they say, I just want to crash. Or maybe you've done something physical, like running a marathon. And I could say, after the marathon, I crashed. All right. I was so tired that I just crashed. I went to sleep, and I went to sleep suddenly. Excellent. Perfect. I think many of you were able to get that. To crash is to go to sleep. This one. All right. So this one, I will tell you, is more difficult. It's very regional. So this is not one that many people across the United States are familiar with. It's not even one that I was very familiar with until doing some research and actually traveling. We traveled to the Northeast. We traveled to the New York area. I think it was, about a couple years ago, and I heard this word being thrown around. So this means something is messed up, all right? It's messed up, or it's of poor quality. Something is messed up or poor quality. What word means that? Is it A, wicked, B, janky, or C, bummer? What do you guys think? And you're saying, wow, this thing is what? If it's poor quality, is it wicked, janky, or bummer? And I tried to put those phones in the background. I don't know if you can see it. They're just these phones that look like old, broken phones. They don't work. They're very poor quality. You would say that it is what? What do you think is the right answer? Yes, excellent. Jasmine, Jessica, Ruth, Fulia, perfect. The answer is B, janky. Many of you got that. How did you know? This was, again, if you saw one of our previous lessons, we talked about this slang that is really regional. On the East Coast of the United States, if you're talking about something that's poor quality, you could say it's messed up, it's janky, all right? So it is used as an adjective. But again, many Americans probably are not familiar with this word. So it's something you might hear on a TV show or a movie. It's good for your comprehension, but you don't necessarily, if you are an English learner, you don't need to try and go out and, let me use this word, because some people are going to be like, what are you talking about? What is janky? So janky is something that's poor quality, like this phone right here. This is an old phone, all right? It is not high quality. You could say, wow, that phone, that's a bit janky, all right? It's not very good, okay? So I want to give you guys a quick little update, or not an update, but just let you know something. If you guys like these lessons, if you like what we do here, you can check out our Patreon page. It is a great way to support our lessons, support what we do. We offer some cool rewards, and I will throw a link in the chat right there in case you haven't gone there and checked that out. If you don't want to, that is okay. We are still going to keep doing these free English lessons because we just like helping you practice and improve your English and actually just growing this global classroom that we have. It's amazing. It's awesome. So you can check that out. Let's continue the quiz. Are you ready for the next one? So I'd say this. Again, think about it as, I put quotes there. Somebody's talking. They're saying this. I'm not sure about this. It all seems a bit sketchy. All right. The slang word is sketchy. I've highlighted it in red. So again, somebody would say, I'm not sure about this. It all seems a bit sketchy. What do you think that means? I think maybe I'm giving it away with my intonation and the way that I'm looking at the camera. Is it A, suspicious, B, detailed, or C, confusing? Which word, if somebody says that something seems sketchy or something looks sketchy, you could even say that somebody is acting sketchy. And I'm really giving away the answer right now because there's really just one adjective that really describes that, all right? Is it A, B, or C, suspicious, detailed, or confusing? Yes, excellent. Rose, Angela, who is it? Love music. Perfect. All right, Zoe. The answer is A. Somebody is suspicious. Or you could say some plan or situation, some idea. It's just sketchy, all right? It's suspicious. You shouldn't be trusted. So it means that if something is sketchy, it is suspicious or out of place. And again, you could use it to describe a person. Like this guy right there. This guy definitely looks sketchy. All right. I don't know what I was doing in that picture, but I do. I think I look a little sketchy. You could describe a situation, somebody's plan, like, hey, let's do this. What do you think of my idea? And you'd be like, yeah, it seems a little sketchy to me, all right? I'm a little suspicious of it. So sketchy is suspicious. The next one is right here. How would you fill in that blank, okay? There's the car. I call, all right? Now, this one, I don't know if it's still used as often. This one I used a lot. When I was younger, I used this word a lot to talk about this situation. Oh, there's the car. I call, A, bumper, B, lemon, C, shotgun. Which word would complete that sentence so that that makes sense? Oh, there's the car. I call, Would you call bumper, call lemon, or call shotgun? What do you guys think? This was one of the first slang lessons that we did, and I talked about this. And yes, Paul, I can. Heloisa, Simo, Anonymous, you don't know? That's okay. If you don't know, I will tell you the answer. Perfect. I like your honesty. Banini, Lolly, yes, the answer is C, shotgun. So this, when you're talking about shotgun, of course, it would mean like a gun, but the literal meaning would be a shotgun. But it is a noun, and all it means, if somebody calls shotgun, they're talking about riding in a car, and they're saying that they want to sit in the front passenger seat. So, like I said, when I was younger, I'm hanging out with my friends. There's 3 or 4 people, and everybody wants to sit in front with the driver. So you would call shotgun, and you would make a game out of it. Like, in order to call shotgun, you have to see the car. So you have to wait until you're outside, and once you see the car, then somebody call, oh, shotgun. Or they say, oh, I call shotgun. And that means that person gets to sit in the front passenger seat. Again, I don't know, this slang may be out of date, but you might hear it if you're watching a movie or a TV show, or listening to somebody old like me talk about when they were younger and they were calling shotgun. I call shotgun. The next one that I have for you is, and this one I think is more common. This is more well-known across the United States to me. And it says, this means to borrow something. It's very simple. It means to borrow something. Also, I'd say not just to borrow, but also just to have something. Because when you borrow something, you kind of give it back. But in this context, you're not always giving it back, so I should have added that. So it means to borrow, but also to get something, to have it. So you can have it. It's yours. So what does that mean? Does it mean A, snag, B, bum, or C, buck? All right. Which of those words means to borrow or to get something? All right. Seeing some different answers. Excellent. Some more shout outs. Wait a second. It's going so fast. Alberto, Shilpa. Very nice. Zisors. Sorry if I mispronounced the names. Yes, we're talking about B, to bum. So if you bum something from another person, then you are borrowing it from that person. But it also, again, you might not just be borrowing it, you might just be getting, that person is giving you this thing, to borrow something. And I think a very common situation it's used in is talking about smoking. All right. If somebody smokes and you don't have a cigarette, you might ask your friend, or you might ask another person on the street, and you say, hey, can I bum a smoke? Can I have a smoke? In this case, you're not borrowing it because you're not going to give it back, but you're asking them, can I have this thing? Can I bum a smoke? Oh, or maybe you're talking about, and I put no smoking because we're not really wanting to encourage you to smoke or anything. I just put the no smoking. There's no smoking in this class. Even though I don't know if you are smoking or not. So you could say, you might hear it in that context, to bum a smoke, maybe money. And you say like, oh, in this case, you're talking about a very low amount. Can I bum a few dollars? Can I bum a few dollars? I'll pay you back. In that case, you would try to pay somebody back. Can you bum something? All right. Can you bum a smoke? So it could be cigarettes. Yes, it could also be talking about marijuana too. That is also a smoke. Can you bum something? So to bum is to borrow or to have. All right, let's look at the next one. And this one is outdated. Not outdated. It's actually one that younger people are using. I am the person who is outdated. But somebody might say, oh, this party is lit. All right, this party is lit. What does it mean, lit? That is the slang that people would use. Does it mean that is it describing something that is A, exciting, B, out of control, or C, just getting started? All right. So I tried to make the party, which is the situation, I tried to make the answers applicable, but there is really just one answer. If somebody says, oh, this party is lit, what are they talking about? And yes, excellent. Kathai, perfect. Milan, Kareem, Rus, Zafar. Yes, the answer is A. A, exciting. So it is used as an adjective to describe something that you really enjoy. Like, oh, this party is lit. These live lessons are lit. Yes, they are so exciting, so amazing. At least I hope so. So again, this is something, it's not a word that I often use. I feel like when I say it, it just doesn't sound natural because I'm not used to saying it. I think, again, younger generations say it. People who are teenagers, maybe in their 20s, they might talk about something and say, oh, this YouTube channel is lit. It's exciting. It's amazing. It's excellent. All right. The next question that I have for you is this one. It's another fill in the blank. So, to give you the situation, say, hey, where are you going? Don't on me. Where are you going? Don't on me. Which word best completes the sentence? These are the slang words. Is it A, ditch, B, jump the shark, or C, bail? All right, what do you think? Don't on me. A, ditch, B, jump the shark, C, bail. Which word best completes that situation? Where are you going? Don't on me. What do you think is the answer? A, B, or C? All right, I'm seeing, again, if you guys are just joining us, we are doing a slang quiz, so stick around, answer some questions. Great way to practice your English skills. So yes, Ruth, Freddie, Hot Flesh, excellent. Eloisa, Adrian, yes, the correct answer is C. Don't bail on me. So in that context, somebody says, where are you going? Which means that somebody is leaving. Where are you going? Don't bail on me. Don't leave me. Ditch means the same thing. Ditch is also to leave, but the difference is you wouldn't ditch on somebody. In this case, because we're using that preposition, you bail on someone. All right? If you're just using ditch, you would say, don't ditch me. So that is one little thing. I tried to trick you there, but ditch, it also means to leave. And to jump the shark is an expression, just to let you know, in case you haven't heard of it. It's when you're watching like a TV show and then it just becomes unrealistic. It's just like after so many seasons, the show just becomes crazy, ridiculous, and you say, yeah, they really jumped the shark. But in this case, we're talking about leaving somebody is to bail. It's a verb, and you would often use it with that preposition on. You bail on someone, all right? It means to leave, often suddenly or unexpectedly. Like you were not planning to leave, somebody was not planning to leave, and then all of a sudden they bail. That person bails. So, and then I'd say, again, I tell you guys, hey, don't bail just yet. There are more questions. I'm going to ask you guys more questions. Don't bail on me, okay? Please don't bail. The next question, all right, is, okay, asking about the meaning, all right? I think this one is pretty common. I think many people might use it. I use it a lot. I think it's used among different ages. It's an expression. It's still slang. This means that you made a mistake. So if you made a mistake, you might respond and say what? Are you going to say A, my spiel, B, my bad, or C, my wrong? What do you think? So if somebody makes a mistake, if you make a mistake, you are going to say this sentence. All right, very short, very sweet. Many of you know it, I think, because we talked about it before in our other lessons. Yes. There's just so many answers flying by me right now. I can't give too many. I can't give any shout outs. It's B, my bad. So if you make a mistake and you want to acknowledge that you made this mistake, you would tell somebody, oh, instead of saying, I'm sorry, you could just say, yeah, my bad. And again, this is much more informal. It's much more casual than saying, I'm sorry. And you often use it for small mistakes. So if somebody makes like just a small mistake, like you step on somebody's shoes or foot and you say, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. If you're talking about a big mistake, you are not going to use my bad. You are actually going to be, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Because this is talking about something that's a small mistake, like that shirt. You get something on somebody's shirt, like some mustard. You say, oh, I didn't mean to do that. My bad. That's a mistake. I acknowledge that I made this mistake. All right, so another thing I want to let you guys know, in case you have not already done so, if you want to connect with us and you can access the Secret Fluency lesson, we will send you some useful resources as well, and we will also provide you with some lesson updates so that you know, about the lessons that are going to be coming out in the future. Check out our email list. I will throw a link right there. I know many of you have already subscribed, but if you guys want to make that connection with us, join our email list, join our community. Link is right there in the chat. So let's do some more slang questions, a few more questions. So I could say, again, I'm saying this, I'd be like, oh, this is so sweet. What does it mean if I say, oh, this is so sweet? Am I talking sweet? That is the slang word. Am I talking about something that is A, tasty, B, funny, or C, nice or good? If somebody says, oh, this is sweet, sweet, you can listen to how I'm saying it. What do you think? Am I talking about something tasty, funny, or nice or good? What do you think? Then when I say nice or good, that's together. And yes, so many of you got the answer. Shilpa, Paul, Rose, Angela, Milan, Richard, excellent. Jean Carlos, the answer is C. You're talking about something that is nice or good. You are expressing that something is nice or good, and you could say it in that context like, oh, sweet, yes. But you may also hear somebody talk about another person and say, oh, you're so sweet. You're so nice. You're so good. You're so sweet. So I think this is a rather common slang word that is used throughout the United States because, again, we're talking about American slang. So I would tell you guys, your comments. You guys write us comments, and your comments, they're so sweet. They're so nice. So again, it depends on the intonation. You might hear somebody just say, oh, so sweet. Or if somebody's just like, oh, sweet, it means that it's great. It's expressing it. It's like saying, yes, all right, you are happy. Let's look at the next one. And here it is. Here is my statement, my sentence, what I would say. I say, dude, I can't believe you bailed. You're such a, what? How would you complete that sentence? You're such a, A, no-show, B, flake, C, weasel. All right. I'm trying to trick you a little bit here, but again, I'll read it to him one more time. Dude, I can't believe you bailed. You're such a, what? You're a no-show, you're a flake, or you're a weasel. All right. Which one do you think best completes that sentence? Ooh, I'm seeing some different answers here. Not everybody is in agreement on this one. Yes, meat, excellent. Krishna, perfect. Hot flesh, nice. Sajid, the correct answer is B. If somebody is a flake, all right, it means that this person can't be trusted. They do not do what they say they will do. So if somebody bails, it means they leave unexpectedly. You were expecting this person to stay. They're not doing what they say they're doing, so you would say they're bailing on you. That means they are a flake. It's a noun. A no-show is just somebody who doesn't show up, all right? If I said, oh, we're going to have a lesson, and then I don't come and I don't arrive and you guys are just here waiting, then you say I was a no-show. And a weasel is somebody that you just can't trust, all right? They're trying to trick you in some way. You'd say they're a weasel. So again, those are also other terms that you can use, but in this case, we're talking about somebody who is a flake. It is an unreliable person who says they will do something, but they do not do it. And you say, yeah, that person, they're a flake. I cannot rely on this person. So I say, somebody might just be, oh, don't be such a flake, all right? You need to be somebody that I can rely on. Don't be a flake. And I don't know why I put that picture there of a snowflake, because we're talking about flakes, all right? So let's look at another, all right? So this one, we're talking about, the meaning is affection between two heterosexual men, okay? What does that mean? This is a word that I think has become more popular over the last 5 to 10 years in describing this situation. If you have two guys, they're heterosexual, they're not gay, they're not having a any kind of romantic relationship. They're heterosexual men, but they become suddenly friends and they really get along with each other. You can describe this situation as what? A bromance, B, tomboys, or C, BFFs. What do you think would describe this situation? Affection between two heterosexual men. And I think, yes, great answers. Lolly, Junior, Eloisa, Shilpa, Rose, Angela, Simo, Jatoth, just trying to throw out as many names. Russian, I forget, it just went on through. Yes, the answer is A. We're talking about a bromance, because when you're saying bro, you're talking about another guy. It's an amalgamation of bro and romance, a bromance. But again, in this case, you're not talking about a romantic relationship. It is just people that are friends. And the way that it's used, I would say, the two men, they're not going to describe their friendship as a bromance. This is something that other people would say about their friendship. And you'd say, oh, look, oh, these guys, they made friends. They became friends so quickly. It's a bromance. Other people would say this to describe their friendship, all right? This is not something that the two men would say about this, but other people. And I say, oh, yeah, it's a bromance, all right? I do. I didn't have other pictures of other people. I could say, yes, I do like myself. I do get along with myself. It's a bromance, okay? Those are the only pictures that I could find. So that is describing that situation right there, all right? So let's see. Thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you guys for being here. That is it for your slang quiz. I hope you were able to, when you've watched our other videos, that you were able to learn these words. And then again, this is good practice, because the more you practice, the more likely you are to remember the meaning of these words, so that the next time you hear them, when you're watching a TV show, you're listening to somebody talk on the street, you're going to be able to comprehend the meaning of what they're saying. You'll be like, oh, I know this word, and you can follow along with the conversation. Again, I told you, I think slang is most important for your comprehension. It's not necessarily like you need to go out and use these words if you are an English learner. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, where is it? Oscar, Love Music, Eloisa, Simo, Farhang, thank you guys. Give some more shout outs. Lolly, Musin, thank you. Well done, dude. Yes, I am a dude, sure. Sajid, Nekla, sorry, yes, I am I'm going to have to bail on you guys right now. I know you want to continue, but I got to bail. I am not a flake though, because I will be back next Saturday for another lesson. I promise you, I'm not a flake. I will be back next weekend. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, like and share the lesson, write to us in the comments, and join our social media classes. Thank you guys for being here with me today. I will see you next time. So long.